ahead and get started. I think just about everybody knows Aarne, but I'm going to introduce our Chief Product Officer. He's super intelligent, bright, incredibly funny guy too, but gives us a lot of great information. He's going to present today about our updated web portal and mobile app. A lot of incredible information that he's going to provide. Just so you know, everybody is muted. So if you have questions, you can feel free to drop those below, whether it's either in chat or in the Q&A section, and we will answer questions at the end. And I think that is about all. We will have it recorded. So if you have to fall off, don't worry about it. It'll be on our YouTube channel, so you can check in there. And last thing I'll say before we get started, Aarne is also the quote king. So we're hoping for a great quote at the end of our session. So stick around, it's going to be awesome. So Aarne, I'll pass it over to you.
Right, let's do this. Just to confirm, you can see my screen and the presentation all right?
Yes, let me change. All right. Tammy, what are you seeing?
I see Appy's screen.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
All right, so webinar about the web portal and some mobile app changes that we went through during the month or so, and that we've been developing for quite some time. Before we move forward and go into the agenda, I want to sort of talk about the vision that we have within the company. So we started from Finland, figured out that 95% of the listings have floor plans, and then looked to other markets and figured out that, oh, this US, one big country, doesn't have floor plans or doesn't have that many floor plans, and tried to thought that, okay, could we create a solution? And then, a few years after, we have a solution. And then sort of the initial goal was that, okay, we know a lot about listing floor plans, marketing floor plans, and that will be the first problem to tackle. But if we go, back into the whiteboard sessions that we had years ago, you can see different use cases like renovation, appraisal, interior design. So with this change that we just went through, we've now added the second use case support, which is appraisal, sort of still in the real estate process, but it's sort of outside of the listing. And we think that there are other steps, after the appraisal, and then maybe there are some steps before the listing process or during someone lives in a house. And our focus will be building, in building those use cases more and more into this system that we have, while trying to maintain the ease of use for example, the real estate marketing or appraisal or renovation. So sort of a modular views inside the web portal, inside the mobile app, but still one integrated system to support those. So that's the vision we have within this product. And as a final note, I would say that the floor planning world is changing. Basically, what it means that before it was really, really hard and time consuming to create the floor plan. Now it's economically feasible to support other processes like creating an offer or letting someone remotely do the data capture. And this will unlock new jobs to be done in the market, in the listing process, in the appraisal process, in the renovation process. And I'd encourage you, our loved customers, to think that where could you go now that you have this knowledge that the majority of the market doesn't understand. So I think that's like the vision piece and the sort of a future looking piece here. So the changes won't stop here. And I as a homework, I encourage you to think about those, and of course then propose those ideas and feedback back to us that, okay, we might have a business case here. Can we help to support you in that? Okay, and then if we move into the actual agenda of today, so some live demos. Let's hope we don't get the demo effect, which is quite often in these cases. We'll first cover the sort of a summary of the product changes that we have: base and plus, RAS order, PDF report or GLA PDF report, changes in mobile apps, then the new interface on the web portal, order details, downloads, taking a look at some of the settings we have, then specifically diving into creating styles. So how you can like change your styles, create new styles, support multiple different customers. Then go to the quick edit, see how you can change certain things, rotate. Just a reminder, nothing like really new there. The GLA options were added some time ago already. Then a new concept for some is the draft orders, especially if you have a bigger company with more orders and there's a lot of manual burden. You might consider creating an integration, and that's actually a good point for the last topic here. So integration. So as an individual, we still have some partners that have built integrations for our application, and they actually include these draft orders as well. So that's the agenda. And then in the last part, we'll have QA, actually not a survey this time, and then next webinar what we'll have. So that's it. Mark and Tammy, anything that I should know at this point? I can't see the chat, so do I just continue to the presentation?
Nope, I say, yeah, let's go ahead and we'll get the questions at the end.
Okay. So product changes, base and plus. On the left side, you can see the base product, $22.99, meant for the appraisals. It still comes with this black and white branded CubiCasa floor plan. So technically it can be used for listings or some other purposes, but the main use case is still to get the GLA floor plan for the appraisal purposes. And this includes no fixed furniture. So that's the base in short. There are some other details that you can still change, like language and resolution, for example. Then on the right side, we see the plus product, $29.99, and it's meant for the real estate listings. So it's white labeled. You can add your own logo, add your styles. It still comes with the GLA floor plan. So can support the appraisal, or you can share the result with the appraiser if you find a good way to do it. And it includes the fixed furniture, has all the same features as you are used to. So the base product is sort of limited to get down the simplification here. Then a new delivery. So this was actually added last week, if I remember correct. So GLA in a PDF format, and then the calculation. And if you have multiple floors, or these calculations in this table are like super long, or there are many rooms, it can extend to multiple pages. The idea of this product is for the appraisers to be able to easily import the PDF as one part of the appraisal report. There are, of course, other data that goes into it, but this GLA like floor plan as a PDF is one part of that. And base PDF comes with the CubiCasa branding, plus comes white labeled. And yeah, like I said, import directly to your favorite appraisal software. And as this was released last week, please provide feedback to us. And if there's anything that, let's say, the PDF format is somehow wrong for your software or something, just let us know and we'll look into it. Then 6-hour turnaround. This comes with an extra cost of $10. So like always, you have the CubiCasa scan, 5 to 10 minutes on average. And then now you can, on the ordering phase, which is important, on the ordering phase, there's the 6-hour turnaround. Right now, there's no easy way for us to upgrade the SLA after you have sent the order, because there's AI that runs these orders, and we have a queue for that AI. So if it goes into the 24 SLA queue, it's different from the 6-hour, and everything after that point is different. So keep that in mind and make sure that you order the right turnaround. We'll see it soon on the mobile app as well. But that's the technical reason. Of course, if you go to an engineer and ask that, is this possible? The answer is that, of course, it's possible. So if there are a lot of cases that this happens, keep the feedback coming, and we will revise if there's something that we could change in this process. But right now, it's not possible. So please consider when you post the order. And maybe to quickly say about this one. So not right now, we promise 99% of the 6-hour turnaround orders to be delivered within that 6-hour time frame, 99%. And it has been a long time in testing that, okay, can we do this in 6 hours? So now that we are on a good production capacity, we can promise that. So we are quite proud of that result. Okay, then we go into a live demo here. So on the mobile apps and changes on the mobile app. So I have here my phone open, like you are used to see the home screen. And I actually have one scanned order here already, but we can do another one. So first new screen after you go into the start the scan, there's the property type. And property type is important for us to be able to calculate different areas. However, right now we are collecting the data to build this feature. So once you select here, we won't be able to provide you the townhouse GLA calculation, but your selection will help us to create the algorithm. So please choose correctly whatever you are scanning, and that's how we can improve our product. I'm right now in an apartment, so let's take the apartment here, and you can see my chairs there. Do a short scan. Minimum 7 seconds, I guess. Smart 10 is a good game. Please try it out. Okay, and the scan. So there was the new screen, property type. And then if we go further into the sending process, there's a new screen that has the account. So you can have multiple accounts in your application. So if you work for different companies or are a contractor and an individual, so you can still do scans between those different accounts and easily change between them. Then there's the product type selection, so plus and base. For this case, I will go for the base one. And there's the note as well to highlight that, yeah, comes with limited styling support. In this case, it wouldn't make a difference which style I select. We'll look into these styles a little bit later in the presentation. I have now 2, Springfield real estate and flatpack real estate. And of course, there's no limit how many styles you can have. But we've seen typically the heavy users of the styles create different styles for, you know, Keller Williams, Remax, etc., etc., and then, you know, deliver the floor plans with that style. And then last item is the turnaround time. So fast 24-hour delivery and ultra fast 6-hour delivery. And for this one, I will select the ultra fast. And this will add $10 to the cost of the order. So that's a few new screens here. And if we click next, this is the old order form, although you can still change the property type on this screen. Right. I think that covers all the changes on the mobile app side. Mark, Tammy, any questions?
Go ahead, Tammy.
I was going to say, we do have a few questions that have come through in the chat, and I'm not sure if you would want to take these now or wait until the end. Just question about the thickness of the walls and external wall thickness. Now or later, Appy?
Yeah, I think we can take those later.
Okay.
Okay, then if we start to move to the web interface here. So just let me know if you can see my orders here.
We can see.
Okay. So first of all, when you go into the dashboard or the home page of the application, this is a completely new view here, although it right now includes the same stuff that you have within the order screen, although this order screen has some filters. That said, we have some plans for this dashboard screen, for example, showing your, a graph of your orders, how many orders you have done in different days during the last 30 days, for example, notifications for new features and, marketing materials for those or any help materials, reminder of your next upcoming invoice, when is the date and how much is it right now, and any other things that you can think would help you. So one part of the feedback where we would like to get feedback, go wild and ask what you would want to see on this dashboard screen. As a manager, as a user, let us know and we'll consider that feature request. Then if we go into the actual order details or order preview, at the top we have the IDs, time, location or address, property type, what style it currently has, who was the order creator, product type. So anything that the customer service might ask you, typically the ID is the best identifier when you communicate to the customer service. But here you can, confirm that, okay, this is the order that I made, or these were the selections the order had. Scrolling down a bit, we have the preview of the order. So I'm now a photographer customer type in the system. So by default, it will show the listing floor plan here. You can scroll through the orders here or use the carousel on the left And some of the feedback for the old system we got was that if the floor plan is huge, you can't really see the room labels or the structures that accurately. So in this new interface, you can click on this floor plan. It will zoom in a bit. And here we have zoom at the top, and you can still zoom in even more. But just check that everything is as it should. So this is one new feature that has been requested a few times. So now it's here. Make sure to use it. Then if we click on the GLA floor plan part, so we have the same kind of a carousel here, same zoom functionality. No with dimensions or without dimension selections, because GLA comes always with the external dimensions. But yeah, you have the with and without dimensions here on the listing floor plan. At the top right, you have the quick edit. We'll take a look at the quick edit a bit later. And then the use another style, we will also look a bit later. Then if you scroll down even more, you have the default downloads. So, or the download items that you have for the floor plan. You can select and deselect the different items here by clicking. As you might have noticed, I have the PNG selected here by default. So if I refresh the page and come here again, you can see that the PNG is pre-selected. And then when I click on this download basket, they are actually already here on the basket. So reducing the amount of clicks if there are certain files that you always download. This doesn't yet apply to all the possible files on the screen, but that is something that we are trying to do in the upcoming releases. Then how you could change the items or the default downloads. It would go into your profile and then download default. You can select, let's say, JPEG and PNG. Hit save. Now it's saved. We go back into our order, and now it has PNG and JPEG pre-selected. You just click on the basket and download all files. There has been some discussion in the group and in our customer chat that how these files should be inside the zip file. Now they are managed or organized in different folders based on what you download. If you think that is stupid, please let us know and propose the correct solution, and we'll, digest the feedback and see what would be the best way to do it. Right now they are in folders because there are, edge case apartments where there are 5 or 6 or 7 floors. So the amount of files you have inside one folder, gets quite big. Then other downloads here, so you can click on the GLA package. This will download the zip file that includes the PDFs, and then text file for the calculation and the individual files of the GLA calculation. So all that we had before is now in one single zip file. So PDF and the individual files and the text. And then same goes for this home report, and then floor plans with and without dimensions in a PDF format. So this will output the multi-page PDF that has the floors in different pages. What else I needed to cover here? I think that's it for this view. And if you think that you don't never need the GLA package, you can just hide this box here and it won't disturb you, making the UI a bit more simplified. Let's check what we have here next. All right, creating styles. So styling, this feature was released last fall, the first time in the old UI, and then there were some issues with the style creation. It was, it wasn't like straightforward. So tried to really improve on that on this new UI. So on the left, you click on the settings, and then you click on styling, and then it lists you the current styles you have, and whatever you have selected here as the default will be the one that will be selected when you send the order, unless you choose from the order sending dropdown to select some other style. So this will be your default style. And you can change the default by clicking select. Here and now it's changed. Then if we want to change existing style, you click on the style here, and it will show you the different options for the style. So you can click on the color, and it will show you this color picker. You can define the hex color code, for example, or you can define the RGBA values, or just use this interface to define the colors. There are color pickers in Illustrator and Photoshop and online tools that you can use to define the hex codes or the RGB values. So that's easy. And of course, you can copy the text here and paste it back on the hex code value. I actually want it to be this blue one this time. Then at the bottom, resolution, measurement arrow. So if you have these like tiny triangles on the floor plan to show where the measurement was taken underneath the from labels, if we should apply a fill for the fixed furniture, total area can be switched on and off, and you can have two different calculation standards. So the RICS IPMS 2 residential or the GLA ANSI standard. So two options here, or then remove it completely. Then we have this compass feature. So if you have the location services enabled on your phone, we will track the compass values throughout your scan and then add the compass element to the floor plans. And of course, this is the Cubi version of an IKEA floor plan. So then we have this custom disclaimer, instructions before assembly. We can of course delete that, and we'll have the default disclaimer here. I think that's about changing the style, and at the bottom you have the same save button. Then if we want to create a new style, let's say that we want to create ground RE. Language would be English with primary denotation. Units, imperial. We don't need a logo for this one. Then on this default style, it will select or set from our templates default values, which then you can tailor. Let's say that for this one, I will want to change the bedroom color to be this gray one as well. And otherwise, I'm happy with this style. So just set the name, language, units, logo if you want. Use the templates or the defaults here if you need, or take, use color picker and use your own colors. Hit save, and now it will be added into the list of the styles here on the web interface. All right, now we have these 3 styles here. So what if you ordered by accident wrong style? Let's say that I didn't want this flat pack real estate style. So when you go into the order details screen, click on use another style, and you will have the list of styles created. Oops. Here, let's select ground RE and change style. You see this notification at the bottom that, okay, in a second you will receive a new floor plan with new style. So this will take about 30 seconds, and then we have the new floor plan here. Mark, Tammy, any things that I forgot or important comments as we wait here?
Nothing that I see that you've forgotten. Can you go back to show where you do the default download type, so how you can change what you download?
Yeah. So on bottom left corner, you click on your name, profile, and then download default. You have a list of options to select. Or you can click and delete those and then save the settings.
Awesome. That was from Alex. And then just a quick question before we move forward. Are you familiar, Api, with the DWG file?
Yes.
So the question is the PDF
engineering file?
Yes. So the question is, can the PDF be used as DWG for 3D projects?
Well, depending on the software, you could trace the floor plan on top of it, but it doesn't work out of the box.
Okay.
There are some ideas that we have, played around with the sort of a 3D formats or engineering formats. So please reach out to us through the send feedback here on the left, or talk through our customer service, or send us an email about your idea or the requirements, and we'll take a look at those.
Awesome. And then we had one other request to revisit the ANSI sketch option. So I think it was when you were choosing between the ANSI and the residential for.
Yep. There you go. So inside the styling settings, down at the bottom, add the estimated total area element to the floor plan, and then you can select which standard to use here.
All right, cool. I think that'll will do us for now. We have a bunch of other questions that we will definitely get to, but those were some that were very relevant to where you are right now. So I just wanted to bring those up as we take a pause.
Okay. Then, well, actually, just taking a quick look, just realized that I shouldn't have changed the bedroom to the wall color. This is what then happens, but maybe there was something secret here, so it's now not visible. So should fix that. Let's actually change this one back to here, and then we go into the quick edit part of this presentation. I will quickly check. Yeah, quick edit was next. So let's go. So on the quick edit, no changes related to the base and plus per se in here. Of course, there are different things you can, or different configurations based on the product type, but as a tool, this has not changed. This is more of a reminder how you can do things here, and especially for the GLA. So if we go into the second floor, and let's say this primary bedroom here is not permitted. So you click on the room label, and then it will open this dialog on the top right corner to show you that, okay, what are the different selections and the different definitions for this room. And although it seems like it's living space, if it's not permitted, I can tap that box here and then, leave the tool by hitting save. And now we wait for 30 seconds again for the redelivery. And then we will say how this changes the GLA values. We can take a look at those in a moment. While waiting for the delivery, then there has been some complaints that, okay, this room label doesn't fit here nicely. So you can use these font size buttons at the top to reduce the font size so it fits better. And if it still doesn't fit, you can use the turning point here on top of the room label to turn the label, or comma and dot are shortcut keys to turn the label 90 degrees. And that's how you can make it fit better on the floor plan. So that was one of the recurring things that we've seen in the feedback. So we could hit save for these changes here as well. And then GLA related question. So in the GLA floor plan, if we go back here and click on the GLA and we go here, although the quick edit says that it's a bath, on the GLA, we have certain specification that we follow for the GLA, and by the fixed furniture in that space, we will define what kind of a bathroom is, if it is a half bath, full bath, or if it's like, let's say, family room, which is not the specified room. Inside that, GLA specification, we'll call it other room. So the room labels will change in the GLA PDF or the GLA floor plan, but there has been different kind of feedbacks related to the appraisal, or maybe it's an opinion that how it should be. Should there be like complete freedom that what these actually are and how they should be in the listing floor plans or the GLA floor plans? So for this one, I'd like to ask again that please keep the feedback coming, that, okay, this is how I see it should go. We should always have half bath and full bath for the listing floor plans, and the ability to change those for the GLA and the listing floor plans however we want, or if we should follow a standard here for the GLA floor plan as well. So then we have material to consider and understand your view, how it should be. So this is created based on the specification of the GLA floor plan. But as we know, there are industry standards, and then there are industry sort of processes that we really follow. So please send feedback, send info to our direction. And yeah, here we actually can see that now the bedroom here is not counted towards the GLA as we marked it as non-permitted. Okay, I think that covers the quick edit part and the relation to GLA. Should we just continue, Mark and Tammy, or anything to discuss at this point?
There is one question that, since we're talking about GLA, that I think we should address now, and that is scanning of ceilings. So how do we know the height of a ceiling?
Well, this, I don't have the materials to show here, but our AI detects the height of the room and the slope of the room, and it creates like a line through the roof that is not included into that area. I think we showed it in one of the scanner schools we had before. But yeah, the point is that when you point the camera up from a low angle, so keep distance to the object you are scanning, and then in our processing we will detect that, okay, where is the right height defined for the floor plan. There are some different specifications regarding that. I'm not entirely sure where we are with those regarding the GLA specification. But once again, thanks for the question, and let us know how it should be improved if you find a mistake.
Yes, and Alanya, we will be redoing some of the videos to showcase how to actually scan the ceiling effectively and things like that. So we will be doing that more. I just wanted to make sure that we did address that as we are right here. So Api, I think we're good to keep moving forward, and we will, to everybody in the webinar, we will be addressing the questions at the end. We're just hitting a couple here and there that relate specifically to where we are, but we will go back and answer as many of the questions as we can.
Right, let's move forward. If I remember right, we have draft orders next here as a new concept. So imagine that you are a two-person team, or you have a floor scanner person or an assistant who goes to the property to do something as a real estate agent or photographer, bigger photographer team. So as a manager of this account, you can go into the create order here on the left, and select this from scan, and then you can define a draft order that is created for the user. And I will take my phone screen here and go back a few steps. So here at the midsection of the phone, we can see draft orders on my account, and these have been created through this form. So you basically type in the information you have about the floor plan that you are going to create, address, details, product details, turnaround time. Some systems might have an external ID that you want to tie it into. And once you fill in all this, let's say we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4th Street this time in Santa Rosa, run regular order with base floor plan, and we select my collaborator here, who is now this scanner user, and send the draft. We get the notification that it was successful, and I'll now pretend that I'm the scanner here. So now I see the drafts that are assigned for me. This was assigned 10 seconds ago. And all the information here is pre-filled into it. You just press on the scanner space and do the scan. And once you get into the order form or any selections that you need to do, they are pre-selected and you are ready to upload the order. So that's draft orders, and you can assign them to yourself or any other person inside your company. If we go here on the settings and offices and users, here you can create offices, and then I have now 2 users. So this manager account has access to all the settings, all the orders, and then this collaborator user who only has access to his own scans and doesn't have access to company settings or anything crucial on the account. So depending on your use case, this might be helpful or not. Typically we see this used by the bigger companies with integrations, but now it's also an option on this self-service interface.
Aarne,
And
are there any limitations to who you can send it to?
well, it can be only an account inside your own account, or your own company that is defined within this CubiCasa space. So it cannot be just a random person whose email address you know.
Okay, so if I assigned it, if I went in and created an account for a realtor or for a second photographer, as long as they're set up in my system, I can send it to that person.
Yes. Right. Let's move forward from the draft orders into the integrations. So there are some applications that have developed integrations with CubiCasa. So we have an API integration available for these different applications. I have two examples here. So in Aryeo, you can create a CubiCasa integration. They have help materials once you go into their app store, that when you click on the CubiCasa link here or the CubiCasa card, it will show you how to integrate your CubiCasa account with Aryeo. And then whenever there's an order delivered, it will be automatically delivered into your Aryeo account. So that's sort of a process efficiency that you can get with these tools. So if you are already using Aryeo, or if you are even not, go to check them out. Cool app and cool development team and cool team all together. So take a look. And then similar kind of an integration from HDPhotoHub. Integrate your account, and then you have some settings here on what to deliver into your system inside the HDPhotoHub. So once again, process efficiency for your work. Mark or Tammy, do you want to comment on the integration?
I think the integrations are amazing, and they really help. I think the one thing we might want to show is where they can get the API key.
Yeah, I will need to stop.
Or you know what, we can add it into the notes at the end. We'll add it at the end when we send it. We'll send something out to everybody online so that they can do it. I didn't want you to have to shut down everything.
Actually, it's all right. I'll manage in 1 minute. So on the settings screen, or click on the settings on the left, and then you have this developer section. And in this developer section, you have this generate API key button. And once you click this, it will generate the API key to you that you can then put into the Aryeo or HDPhotoHub or other integrator partner system.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
And just recap my notes. One thing I forgot to mention on the company settings here is this account defaults. So if you know that you will be only ordering plus floor plans with express delivery or base floor plan with the 24-hour delivery, you can set the defaults here. By default, photographer customer type, when the account is created, has certain values, and appraiser account has certain values. So there are differences, and you can change the customer type here on the general page. And what is this? This is Paula photographer. So I had the plus as a normal option, and now I will just change the defaults to be base and regular. So that's something I forgot before.
And that's awesome. And I think that goes so well with the integrations because it allows you to set things up and to save time in the process. So
yeah, that's the point exactly.
Awesome.
Right. Moving into Q&A. What do we have?
Tammy, you want to start us off?
Well, yes. So if we go kind of back in the chat, Oppie, there are questions about the wall thickness. Would you mind just kind of a general conversation around that?
Yeah, we've heard some requests regarding the wall thickness, that you should be able to define the wall thickness. Maybe when you start the scan or once you receive the scan, you would want to change the wall thickness, or maybe it's based on the location of the scan, or different kind of an options how it could work. We don't have a solution today to this issue, and we don't yet know what would be the best way to implement that solution, or the solutions that we come up with. We have had like a short discussion based on it, that most likely solution is that you need to define the wall thickness before you start the scan, but that of course means that it can't be changed afterwards. There are some technical limitations we have right now regarding the post-editing the wall thickness. So that's the status on wall thickness right now. My suggestion, and I feel like a parrot, keep the feedback coming. That's the only way we can really make this product better.
Okay. Thank you. And I guess this is a good time. So related to that, does CubiCasa provide any sort of certification that the floor plan meets ANSI standard? This question was specifically for a traditional appraisal, for a 1004.
So of course, the appraiser is legally required to provide materials that they conform to. So you are in the end legally binded to your materials. So if there's an error in our calculation, or something was defined improperly, that's why we have the quick edit and the fix request to make those corrections into our floor plan, that it matches on the specification that it should be. So there's a human element in our production, and there might be mistakes in the floor plan. So in the end, the appraisal is responsible in the traditional appraisal. Then on the desktop appraisal, the disclaimers from the GSEs are a bit different. So in there, the requirement is that to best of your knowledge, it's correct. And you need to tell what materials you used to do this, evaluation and valuation of the property. So there, it's a bit of a different flavor on what material was used. So that's the answer and our understanding on the situation.
Okay. Another question. File names that get loaded down in the new style download are different than they were previously. Is there any thought that maybe the address could be the beginning of the file name?
Yes, and like I said, anything is possible in that regard. We right now have the floor number there, so you have the files organized based on the floors in the right order when you open them up. So that was the reasoning behind the current file naming.
Okay.
Tammy, we have one here. Lauren uses the app to create floor plans for agents, and she says that SVG files opened in Illustrator are 55 inches by 41 inches, and she would prefer if we could set it to an 8.5 by 11. Is that, again, I know everything is possible, but.
Please send us the details. I will say about the SVGs that Illustrator doesn't open up the SVGs as per in the standard. So there are other problems in the SVG as well. But please send us the details about the request and what how it should be and why it should be like that. And then we can consider that, can we make the change or not?
Yes, thank you. Robert asked, sometimes they do not have access to a room or an entire floor. Any suggestions about dealing with situations like that?
Floor will be something that we would reject by default. So if you are missing a floor, that's extremely challenging us to work on. If there's a room that have clear boundaries, let's say that 1 out of 3 bedrooms in a row, 1, 2, and 3, and the middle one is missing, you can type into the additional or the extra info on the order that there's a bedroom in between these 2 rooms. Please add it, or you can file a fix request and we can add the room there. So that's a request that we can support.
Okay, thank you.
Lauren had a suggestion. She said the toilets are too big, so we'd like to see smaller toilets in relation to the bathroom size. So it's just something we can take back to the table. I'll add that when she sends the details for her other request. And then this question was very similar to what Tammy just mentioned, and I think you really answered it, but I want to just hit it specifically. When you have closets that have all the junk that people have thrown in there so that they can hide everything else, do you have to scan a closet?
Well, don't go into the closet if it is too dark and it will cover the camera and there's no context. So imagine that if you would, stick your head into the closet, and if you wouldn't know where you are, our AI wouldn't know where it is. So that's the best rule I can give you, that how we will know. So if the camera has no context, if it's a white wall or completely dark space or it's completely covered, it won't know where it is. So the most important thing is to provide context into the scanning view. And if it's full on stuff, of course, light or laser or anything, cannot go through that. So we wouldn't know in any case. So in those situations, we will estimate the size of those closets based on the surrounding structure of the space.
Okay. Just
And tell me, while you're looking, somebody did ask the question if we're going to show how to actually do a floor plan scan. We're not going to do that in this webinar. However, we do have some videos. If you go to our YouTube page, our team has created a number of different videos that showcase how to scan, and that will help do that. And we're about to create a new series as well. So hang tight for that.
Yeah. Let's take one more question. We are almost at the hour and we have 2 more slides here. So
there is a good one from Eugene that, I mean, you sort of have just answered, but when you have the super crowded space where it's very difficult to scan, just best advice for how to manage that to get good results, even when it's difficult to see the wall and or the floor.
Yeah, there are challenging spaces. The best advice is that try to show as much of the floor and the wall you can, and we'll try to work the best out of it. Of course, on lighter devices, iPhone 13 Pro, 12 Pro, we will have much more scan data. There are some ideas that we are working on the older phones or just phones with the video camera, that how we could remove the clutter in the post-processing and then get the models or the floor plans more accurate, but that's maybe into the future. But just try to show as much as floor space and the wall as you can, and extra lighting or any lighting you have will improve the results.
All right, Api, take it away.
Right. So last question, send feedback, or last announcement, send feedback. I showed you on the left sidebar, there's the send feedback button, or you can send feedback to our email address, help@cubicasa.com. So this is the only way we can improve the product. So please keep it coming. And at this point, I will also, I promised a quote. So I will also make the quote, and then we will close this presentation. So this one is from Tom Peters, a business writer, and it goes like this. Excellent firms don't believe in excellence, only in constant improvement and constant change. So that's what we are about. We've changed things. We feel that we've improved things. So, but the only way for us to improve it, if we can get the feedback, so we know where we should go. And then,
Awesome.
last but not least, next webinar will be in June 28th. Here's the QR code on the right, so you can use your phone to scan the link to the webinar and register. This one will be by Mark, building your real estate photography business. So focus on photography and real estate marketing and how to grow it. So that's the topic of the next webinar.
Awesome. Well, Api, Aarne, thank you so much for your time. Great information. I hope everyone learned a ton. If you missed any part, had to jump away or answer a call, everything will be uploaded to YouTube, so you'll be able to go back and watch it over and over again, share it with your friends. So we're excited to continue bringing these things to you. Thank you so much for your time, Aarne. Thank you so much, Tammy, and the rest of our CubiCasa team that has been chatting and has been watching along. So we appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.